Hey y'all, this is Brita for the Happier Attorney, where we talk about flat fees and mindset and personal development. And today we're going to be talking about personal development for attorneys. And, before you roll your eyes, here's why you should care. Because your core, your subconscious beliefs, and your mindset are at the root of everything, of every thought, of every behavior. Everything stems from that. And I see so many attorneys, and I've been in this game since 1994, probably actually before that because of working in law firms. And I see so many attorneys who are so miserable. And yes, flat fees help a lot. But if we can start addressing the real issues, wow, wow, we could be so happy. So, this is why it's relevant to every single person. I have never met anyone, much less attorneys, who don't have issues. We all have issues. We all have our crap. And most of us will never start dealing with it. But those who are brave enough to start doing that self examination will be better people and they will be happier. And the thing is, you get results pretty darn quickly when you start doing the work. So I thought that I would take this time and talk to you about what personal development is and what it isn't, because I think there's a whole lot of misperception out there. So for me, personal development used to mean I used to roll my eyes and think that it was just self help or learning the things, learning personal finance, learning about physical health, organization, time management, maybe getting into some counseling. And that was personal development. Or on the flip side of that, we could get into really weird woo woo stuff and, manifesting, sitting and manifesting or doing crystals or wearing clothing that I wasn't comfortable with or chanting. That's what I thought personal development was. And for most of my life, I knew I had issues. But most of the time, I thought I hid them fairly well. And some of my issues I did hide fairly well, and some I was really kidding myself. And over the years, I kept battling the same issues over and over and over again. My health and money and overspending and boundary issues and never feeling like I belonged, never feeling like I was good enough. And even after I managed to end a marriage that was not healthy, I thought that I would bounce back and get my act together, get my shit together within like a year, and all my troubles would be over, or at least I could deal with the issues. And that didn't happen. Things certainly got better, but I hadn't looked at the core. And so what I would do is I would try harder. I would read another book. I would implement this new strategy. It was all the strategies. It was always, this new diet plan or this new whatever. And I was never looking at the core of what was actually going on. And intuitively, I knew that everything was related, but I didn't know how. And I didn't see outside evidence of that. And so no matter what I did, things might get a little bit better, but I would slip back and I would go back to the same old issues. And no matter where I went, I was there. And my issues followed me like they follow everybody. They even followed me moving to Texas. And so when I had my little simplicity breakdown that I talk about in my third book, Tidy Up or Simplify, essentially I threw up my hands in despair. And I just finally had to admit that, at 47 years of age, my way wasn't working. Me pushing through, me just trying harder wasn't working. And I needed a change, a major change. I didn't know what that looked like. I didn't know how, but I knew that needed to start listening to my instincts and stop just trying to figure it out intellectually. And I also knew that I needed to tell my ego to take a hike. I knew my ego had gotten me in a lot of trouble. And I thought I needed to figure out why the things intellectually. It quickly became evident that it wasn't an intellectual issue. They were emotional issues. I also knew that this was gonna take some time, this was gonna take some effort, and this was gonna take some money. This was not something that, I could journal about half an hour a week. This was major. This was affecting my life. It was destroying my life. And so I needed to give it the attention that it deserved. I had to make it a huge priority. And for a time frame, nothing else mattered. And hopefully you don't have to get to that point. Some of you probably are already there. My goal is to help people so they don't get to rock bottom. When I had that throughout my hands, I got to figure this out. I then spent the last 4.5 years making me and my issues my top priority. I got that everything stemmed from that. Everything, every thought, every decision, every behavior, every result of said behavior. And what I have gotten out of that will differ from what you will get. But what I guarantee you is as long as you still have breath, you can grow and your life can improve. I don't care where it is right now. There are some who are listening to this who are at rock bottom. Maybe there's drugs or alcohol involved. Maybe you've really blown your life up. Maybe there's others who aren't that far down on the road, but you're overwhelmed. You know you have issues. And if you really took an honest look at what road you're on and what's at the end of that road, it's not good. And there's others who don't see the connection at all. I'm telling you, it's all connected. And what I have gotten from this work is a career that I absolutely love, that fits me like a glove, that I'm great at, and absolutely, this is my professional purpose. I have gotten a much healthier relationship with money and my body. I very rarely self-sabotage. I am generally pretty happy and content. When I do have my moments, life isn't perfect. When I do have my moments, I am able to recover. I don't freeze with anxiety. I don't check out for days or hours. I bounce back pretty easily. And I have never had better relationships. I have removed the toxic people from my life. I have never had such connection with my kids and the people that are important in my life. And it might sound cheesy, but I can say I love myself and I feel like myself. I feel comfortable in my own skin. And so most of what I do right now is I help others through flat fees and through coaching, because flat fees aren't about flat fees. They're about how you feel about yourself and what you think about your value, really. And so I help other attorneys essentially start getting back to themselves, getting back to who they were before the crap, before people told you you couldn't do it, before you had any trauma, before you were raised by parents who had their own issues, before all of the things. Getting back to who you actually are so that you can feel comfortable in your own skin and so that you can have the career that you actually want to have, that you can make the money you're capable of making, that you have a healthy relationship with yourself. Because you cannot truly connect with other people if you're not connecting with yourself. It's true. And this is the root of everything. And so most people will just deal with the leaves, the strategies, the new things, the intellectual. It's the root. So The work that I do is meant to slowly, it's not a scary thing. We're not going to inflict more trauma, okay? But this work is about step by step starting to get back to you, okay? Who needs this work? Well, everybody. I have not met any person alive, an adult, who doesn't have issues. We all do. But specifically, if you find yourself self-sabotaging, if you've had money issues, whether that is not making enough money, whether that's overspending, whether that's hoarding it, getting it and feeling like, you have to hold on so tight, anyone who has boundary issues, anyone who has issues with continually and habitually saying yes when you actually want to say no, having a hard time being direct with people, especially those close to us, anyone who has some control issues, attorneys, control issues, come on now. Maybe you're just not happy and you don't really know why. Anyone who, you think your life could be more than it is. It could be deeper, it could be richer. Not just rich financially, but rich inside. And this is not about positive thinking. Positive thinking is, putting whipped cream on a pile of poop. Okay? That it's still a pile of poop, okay? It's about addressing the real issues truly and why you self-sabotage, why you do things that aren't in your best interests. And the uncomfortableness of it will be there. It's short-lived. And the shifts that are made are permanent. You can't go back. And you will be able to start growing. And this work isn't done. This is not an easy 10-step fix all your crap in 10 minutes program. And by the way, anyone who, says anything remotely similar to that, you should probably run away. Okay? But you can start quickly. And it really comes down to whether you think you're worth it. You're worth this work. And unfortunately, most people will take their last breath never having even contemplated doing work like this because it ain't easy. It is not easy. It is absolutely worth it. It's absolutely worth it. So if you are interested, if this got you thinking at all, I would invite you to, click below, see about our program. It's a membership program. It's a monthly subscription, and you can unsubscribe at any time. Okay, you are not locked into anything. And we have group coaching, and we have individual coaching available, and we have monthly workshops. And you're not alone. You will be part of a very small community of attorneys who support one another. It's all confidential, and you're not alone. You have the same issues that everybody else does. I promise. Okay. I know what I'm talking about. So if you're interested, just go to Happier Attorney and we'll hopefully see you in the program. But if not, if you're just curious, start reading, start journaling. In the happierattorney.com, I have a recommended reading list. Most of those books are on personal development. And start reading. And then we can go from there. So take care, friend.